Comics TAS, Episode 6, The Crossovers. All right, here we are, back on Comics TAS, and today we're taking a little bit of a break from the X-Men because a topic was brought up that I just figured we'd go ahead and run with it, give everybody a chance to
piss me off since I watched the episodes today, and all of a sudden it's, don't worry about that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Fine, fuck you too.
Another reason is because Shane
forgot.
It's a holiday. I forgot. I'm sorry. Holiday weekend.
Shane didn't do his part, so...
Shane, let me put it to you this way. I've been off work since like 9 o'clock Wednesday morning.
I've been off work since Tuesday.
Exactly.
I've been off work since 11 o'clock Tuesday.
Yeah, so there was plenty of time.
I knew there was plenty of time, but I forgot. I'm sorry. It happened. We're human.
I went to work.
Around the room.
Good for you.
Reploid Bill Willingbush.
Seth Level, Sario.
Scott Action Jackson.
Shane McCree, Proto Guy.
Okay, so, here we are.
The idea behind this crossovers was more or less when I came across an article talking about how there's been like multiple universes within TV shows, and then it came to the old Incredible Hulk TV series.
Yeah.
And how they had a few made-for-TV movies where they had Thor, Daredevil, and then it's like, I wonder if I could put something like this together for the Comic TAS. Oh, wait, it had to be... Well, in the 90s, there was a lot of crossovers.
What we're going to do here is we're going to talk about crossovers that we know about and remember from the different Comics TAS.
Can we only cover Marvel for this one, since DC is too huge?
It's not really too huge. I mean, it is what it is. It's their cartoon series, and there were crossovers. I mean, this is... The reason I want to do this is because you brought it up, and another thing is that for a lot of people, because people don't read comic books, for a lot of people, this is how they were introduced to the idea that there was a universe. People watched Batman, the animated series, and that show did a whole lot of nothing to expand the idea that there was a universe. There was like an episode with Zatanna, who, by the way, used no magic at all.
Yep.
That's her whole fucking thing.
Nope, no magic.
Originally, that
Best
was
animated series ever made.
No.
Yep.
No.
Oh, yeah.
You want to battle?
Yep.
Let's battle.
Okay.
Her whole gimmick is fucking magic.
No,
Doesn't
not
matter.
today.
No.
Batman.
No.
No, fuck you.
No. No.
No, it's one of those things. This is a sacred cow show. It's the greatest motherfucking series ever made. Even today, there's never been an animated series that's better, ever. So even though we had crossovers...
Except for Teen Titans, but that's because we had Teen Titans and then Teen Titans Go.
Well, there are crossovers. There are crossovers in Batman, and they're not very good.
Actually, the first major crossover was when Batman crossover into Superman.
And Superman's series happened after Batman.
Yeah.
But Superman had crossovers in his series.
Yeah,
crossed over with
lots of
Batman, crossed over with Green Lantern, crossed over with Green Arrow, I think it was it might have been Kyle Rayner that showed up in the Superman series. I don't think it was Hal.
Yeah, I don't think it was either.
Because I seem to does he cross over? Are you sure there was the Flash in? So
yes, Flash was in one.
Superman, the last season of Superman, almost every other episode had a crossover. Like they just took that opportunity to build the universe because they knew that when Superman was done, they were going to try to go into Justice League.
Yeah, because the Flash one was more or less the race.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Was it Wally or Barry in that
Wally.
episode? Was it?
Was Barry.
It might have been Barry.
Well, Wally...
It might have been,
that Wally's supposed
Wally, but I know that the voice actor was the same who was Barry when it came down to the Justice League cartoon.
Wait, but it was Lex Luthor, too.
No, the cartoon is Wally. Barry was dead.
If you're talking about the voice actor who voiced him in the Justice League show,
Yeah.
that was the
Lex
guy
Luthor
from Smallville. Yep. That was Wally.
Okay, yep.
So I think the race between Superman and Flash in the Superman show was
The only
Wally.
reason I bring it
Okay,
up is
yep.
because I'm almost positive that when they did the crossover for the Green Lantern and the Superman cartoon, I don't think it was Hal Jordan. Because I think Sinestro comes to Earth, and it has something to do with something going on with a ring, and I think that it goes to an artist who's working in his home at that time. And I think if it's an artist, it was Kyle Rayner, and the ring went on him.
But wait, if
Hold on, Shane's using his Google foo.
the Flash that showed up in Superman was based off the Justice League series, they also had a pilot movie where they kind of unmasked each other, and Batman's like, him, Barry Allen.
No, that was in the Justice League cartoon, end of the first season,
Yeah.
when the Hawk people attacked and
Yep.
took over the Earth. That's
but
where that's from.
But Batman said that. He's like, I thought he said Barry Allen.
No, Wally is
was?
in the Justice
Okay.
League cartoon.
Yeah.
Because it was Wally, it was John Stewart, it was Diana,
Clark Kent,
it was
Diana.
Clark, Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
Oh, and I'm sorry, I always forget her name. She's not a character I follow. Hawk Girl.
Yeah, the Hawk Girl's name.
Kyle Rayner. The episode.
Bill in the Justice pose.
The episode is called "In Brightest Day." Is the 7th episode of the 3rd season of Superman the Animated
Season
Series,
3.
and the 48th of the overall series. It depicts the origin of Green Lantern. A dying alien, Abin Sur, tells his ring to find a worthy host. The host turns out to be Kyle
An
Rayner.
artist.
Yep.
It's wrong.
Yeah.
But a lot of these cartoons, that's another thing. It's the reason I was happy you brought up Batman first, because Batman does something that is important. He's wrong. Like, a lot of these cartoons don't get their stuff right. They get it wrong. And then these people come into comic books and they think they know material, and they don't know shit.
Do you know who else was in this episode?
Who?
Sinestro.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I haven't seen that in so long.
Sinestro comes to Earth because Abin Sur dies, and he's already a Yellow Lantern because fuck on continuity, and he fights against Superman and Kyle Rayner.
He should have been a Green Lantern at that time. Well, fuck continuity.
Everything is right.
No. Sorry,
yep.
It's right for it being the 90s.
I was going to say, also in the Superman animated series, there was also Supergirl who shows up.
Oh, did she show up in season 3?
I don't know
Or
if
was it
in
even
season
before
3.
that? You know what? I think
It might have
it
been.
was season 3, and here's the only reason I'm guessing why. Because in order to end the Superman series, Superman disappeared. And she was controlling those robots that made it look like Clark was still going to work. Remember? And then when Superman comes back, he's the bad guy, the general of Darkseid's armies.
Yeah, the brainwashed Superman.
And she was making it look like Superman had never left. She was flying. She was using the robots from his from the Fortress of Solitude.
There's another show that had crossovers.
Which the Superman robots are something in continuity as well. One of them killed Donna Troy.
Yep.
Because they fought. There was a whole bunch of these damn things, and almost all of them were destroyed, and one happened to survive, and it fought against the Teen Titans, and Donna ended up dying fighting.
There was another show in the 90s I watched a lot of that had crossovers with the Justice League and other DC characters, and that was superhero Static Shock. Woohoo! Remember Static Shock?
Static Shock was in the Justice League
No.
show? I don't think that's right.
Static
Static
Shock-
Shock was actually involved with more of the futuristic
The Justice
Unlimited
League
era.
The Justice League
Yeah.
crossed over in the 4th episode of the 4th season of Static Shock, though only Jon Stewart appears in it.
Although in Static Shock itself, there was crossovers with Batman,
Yep,
Robin,
he had
and Superman.
Yep, he had Batman.
Okay, but that was in the Static Shock cartoon.
Which is still
Okay,
DC.
now there's a reason for that, though. Because DC does not own Static Shock. The reason you never see him in the cartoons, the reason you never see him in the series, the reason you never see him in the movies, the reason you never see him in the comics, is because every time they use him, they have to pay to use him. And because DC can't work out a contract that just allows them to do what they want with him, they don't like him. They hate Static Shock because every book he appears in, they have to pay money. So if he was part of an ongoing series,
But wouldn't
they
that
would
just
just
be-
lose hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they don't want
But
that.
the books, I thought the books was just called Static, not Static Shock.
They don't
the
own him.
series was Static Shock.
No, I don't think there's an actual... he doesn't appear for a reason.
Because I have the first issue of Static.
Yeah, but he doesn't appear for a reason. In order to do that, they had to pay every single time he makes an appearance. Every time they have to pay the creator. His wife.
But with the start of the World's Finest episode, which is where Batman showed up in Superman.
I'm looking at that right now. It's a 3-episoder.
It started up the DC cartoon.
Is that the one where
universe.
Batman goes missing and Superman has to
No.
in the? What one is that? Because Superman
It
had to
depicts
wear
the first meeting of Batman and Superman in the DCAU.
Yeah,
when
okay, I
Batman
remember this.
comes to Metropolis in pursuit of the Joker, who has offered to kill Superman for Lex Luthor.
Yes.
Because
Oh, yeah, that's right, because don't they try to play off the, what's the graphic novel? Emperor Joker? Like, they try to play it off.
Yeah,
but
it's
not
something
make it
like
as
that.
sadistic.
Joker got himself a kryptonite dragon, more or less.
Yeah, I remember that crap.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it started it.
But
for
there
the
is one-
DC animated shared universe.
There is one where they, there was a shared universe. I mean, you'd always kind of had an assumption because, like I said, they started showing up in Superman, and even some of them showed up in Batman, though they were wrong.
Yeah.
But
Yes, the Flash did appear in the episode Speed Demons. Because Superman and the Flash.
and who
compete
was
in a
it? Does it
charity-
say?
I'm still looking. Give me a minute. I'm still looking. Because that one did not tell me.
Yeah, because the race was for charity, so both of them were kind of fucking around. And then all of a sudden they start taking it super serious. And
Well,
they're
there's-
like, okay, fuck all
I
of
also
yous.
remember
also,
something.
accidents were happening too.
Yeah, something interrupts them. It has to do with Weather Wizard or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, they had to stop the Weather Wizard.
That I watch these damn cartoons too much.
Yeah, here it is. Speed Demon is the 4th episode of the 2nd season.
Yep.
Superman and the Flash have charity. It doesn't say who it is.
Doesn't say which.
It doesn't
I wonder
say,
if they even say it during the show. They might not actually say it at all.
I don't think
Probably
they
not.
do, but like I said,
It's just
the
a
only
flash.
thing that makes me suspect that it's got to be the same one from fucking Justice League
The
is
voice
they
actor?
have the same voice actor.
And it,
Right.
The
It is
design.
That's
Michael-
that Michael Rosenbaum.
Yep.
The design is very familiar with the Justice League design.
That's because they recycled the Superman animated series design for Justice League.
I
Yep.
want to
And
go.
they lighten up the red on him too.
I'm going to go ahead and say that it is Wally because
Yeah.
that's who we grew up with.
Yeah.
Barry was dead.
Mhm.
Barry died in like 85, and he
That's
was dead for a long,
That,
long time.
That took me a long time to. Bill had to tell me that because for the longest time, I'm like, dude, Barry's my man. He like, you grew up with Wally, right?
I was like,
I'm like,
you don't-
Wally's my man. I do like Barry though,
right,
but because I know Barry now.
right.
But no, he crossed over with almost like. Did he have a crossover? Didn't Wonder Woman have it? She didn't have an animated.
I don't think Wonder Woman does
It's
not
part of
show up
Justice League.
anywhere until Justice League, and
So-
they're
Yeah.
kind of creative about the way they do that too, because literally her arc starts where she's standing on the island and she can feel that something is wrong with the Earth, and she tells her mom, and her mom is like, "I don't care. I don't care. They don't care about us, and we don't care about them." And we're here because we're not going to be there. And she's like, we can't just stand here and do nothing. Like, you've closed yourself off from the world, and it's wrong, and we have to do something. And she's like, I don't have to do nothing. So Wonder Woman Diana steals the gear
Right.
and leaves the island of her own accord.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a chance that she can never go back because of it. And then she ends up in Man's World, and when she does, she's fighting some of the enemies and whatnot. And they meet her all at once. Like, they kind of fly down and she's standing on the side of the mountain. And, like, Flash runs up to her and he's like, whoa! He's like, dibs, kind of.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, fastest man alive, know about that? And she's like, no, I really don't.
When you're doing that, a lot of women don't like that. Fastest man alive,
Yeah.
With the eyebrow raise,
faster isn't always better.
Yeah, but then I think to myself, if he's so fast, it doesn't matter. Because, you satisfied? She's like, got smoke coming off.
Ouch. Holy crap.
Somebody needs some lube at that point. if you got an actual bushfire going, something is wrong.
But,
wow, how does this show keep getting there?
But Yeah, there's like some other stuff. When we kind of go back a little bit with Static Shock, there was stuff with him and Batman Beyond with his future Static Shock self, too. But I think that was...
That's so confusing. How old would he be? But Bruce is like in his 80s in that fucking continuity. And Barbara's already in her 60s.
It's like Static Shock somehow got into the future.
Oh, that's different.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was going to say that doesn't even begin to make sense.
Yeah.
Because even the only reason the Justice League met up with the only reason the Justice League has an episode with Batman Beyond is because somebody goes into the future and steals something, and Batman goes back. And then during that episode, there's even a point where Batman Beyond says, "Guys, I don't know what you're so worried about. It's obvious that we got through this, because in my time," and the other Batman says, "I'm going to let you know something." And it's the older, 80-year-old, decrepit, angry Batman. He says, "I don't ever remember having a conversation with my past self." So he says, I don't ever remember having a conversation with my future self. So that means that this didn't ever happen, so we can't assume the outcome.
And then Wonder Woman starts walking off talking, and she starts fading. And it's like, oh boy.
Yeah, because I do remember there's the one episode of Beyond where fucking it's what is it? It's fucking white costume fucking Superman.
He gets taken over by some kind of
That's not.
fish
Well,
thing.
okay, sorry.
Yeah,
You're talking about future
thing.
Future
Justice
Superman
League
does wear a white suit, but yeah, the real cool white suit Superman was the one that shows up in the Justice League when they have the Dark Justice League.
Isn't that the one where Superman lobotomizes Doomsday and kills Lex?
Yes. Because that Superman ain't about that life.
That's because the Flash died and they were tired of it.
Yeah.
Now, way before all of this, because I remember the first time I noticed universes, like DC did a good job, but the first time I remember universes, it was Marvel. The Marvel cartoons were famous for having crossover events.
Actually, like I said in the last episode, actually, I called out the universe, which is literally the animated series universe.
But when I was going back and looking this stuff up, the oldest was the 60s Spider-Man with Daredevil showing up.
I also saw a weird GIF online, and it makes me wonder what episode it's from, because I don't remember. But it showed Spider-Man dancing with another Spider-Man, Thor, The Thing, and something else, and they were all like dancing, and I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah. I also found another image that looked like the 80s Spider-Man from a certain angle, but it was probably from the Amazing Friends, but it was Spider-Man with Thor. But Tony Stark also did a crossover in the original 60s as well. So
now, the 80s Spider-Man had a crossover with the X-Men.
Yep, with his Amazing Friends, because one of them was an X-Men.
And Wolverine.
Iceman, yeah.
Wolverine was Australian.
Oh my god!
And he was like, if you ever have a chance...
Kind of a slight foreshadowing if you look at it.
If you ever have a chance to see this episode, it is amazing, because somebody says something...
Hugh Jackman, yep.
Spider-Man says something that makes Wolverine mad.
Okay.
Wolverine gets up and walks over, and like Spider-Man dodges, and he pops his claws and punches into the wall. Ching! And he gets stuck. And in this episode, he actually says, and he says, "Hey mates, one of y'all want to come over here and help me get out of the wall?"
Yep.
There's a reason some cartoons do not deserve standing the test of time.
Yep.
Now, after that...
Oh, and technically speaking, Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends is a crossover.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because that is Iceman
and
Firestar.
But before that, there was a few things I saw on a Fantastic Four one from the 70s.
Oh yeah.
But didn't the 90s had a Fantastic Four series? Didn't they cross over?
Yes.
We'll get to that.
The group that made that one also made the 90s Iron Man and
probably the
something
Hulk,
else.
too.
Yes, the Hulk.
But in the 70s Fantastic Four, I think this one group I found first, I think is kind of tied into the Fantastic Four, the Inhumans.
Yeah, technically
Yes.
that's tied into the Fantastic Four more than it's tied into any other continuity.
Even
However,
though, aren't they also mutants? So
No, they're not mutants.
No.
Okay.
Isn't
No,
it
they're not even
aliens?
close.
Isn't it has to do with aliens?
Okay. Oh my God, I hate
Sorry,
these
I am
things.
going by what the
All right,
show.
look, I hate these things, but basically they're a race of aliens that, like,
They're a race of aliens that look humanoid.
once they reach a specific age, if the genetic code is right, they're introduced to the Terrigen Mist, and then if they survive the Terrigen Mist, they develop superpowers. And it's because of that they know that the Terrigen Mist is incredibly dangerous. If you breathe it in and you don't get superpowers, you get to be horribly disfigured or dead. That's a lot of
That's
fun.
what
So
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was doing.
So that's the reason that a lot of them are genetically bred. They're selectively bred so that they can produce offspring that can become Inhumans, and they don't have to worry about that. They go like so many years, then on like so and so birthday, they're infected with the mist or whatever.
Yep.
And that's the other reason that some of it is really bizarre, and I realize it's comic books and everything, but then they're like, hey, they're like Black Bolt and
Black Bolt's the one that can't talk.
and Medusa.
Yes, without killing.
Everybody.
Yeah, they're like, these two are married. And I'm like, yeah, but technically by the storyline that you laid down, they were selectively chosen for marriage, and so I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be like, Shane, you love Julie. You have no choice. Selective breathing, you have to have that child. That is what that's like. It is ridiculous. You don't have to like the person. You don't have to have any association with them at all. They could be like, hey, you get to date Ursula from Little Mermaid because she will produce the perfect offspring for you. You have no choice.
The second,
You know she's an octopus lady, right?
Perfect.
Doesn't matter.
the
Inhumans.
second cameo
Well, to be fair, I'd rather do that than the other one.
Oh my gosh.
that I found from that
later.
Fantastic Four cartoon was Magneto.
Which is my favoriteest episode now.
You saw that episode? And you saw how weird his
I
outfit looks?
saw a different episode. Somebody did basically an abridged version where Magneto wants to become the next member of the Fantastic Four because there's no Human Torch around. So he wants to be the next member. So they go and they rob a bank because if the money's not here, no one can steal it.
I can't help but feel like I don't even
It's
know.
hilarious.
I don't even know what to think about when, like, if we end up, I'm telling you, if we end up reviewing something like the 60s Spider-Man, dude, I can't even tell you how hard we're going to have to bomb all over that show, dude. It's
Especially with all
so...
the memes that we've probably seen from the series.
The 60s Fantastic Four?
No, the
No, that was
60s.
the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a video.
Spider-Man is basically going to be a lot.
I was watching a video of the worst like superhero TV shows, and the 70s Fantastic Four made it in because they were like, you had because they had. I saw the 3, and I'm like, okay, where's the Human Torch? And like, Human Torch isn't in this. I'm like, Fantastic 3, Fantastic 4.
No, it's Fantastic Four because they have fucking
A robot.
Herbie or whatever.
They
his
had
name
a
is.
robot.
Right, and probably what was going on, and I can't prove this, but probably what was going on is the censors said, you can't burn people.
You
Yep.
can't have a man on fire.
But that's his. It doesn't hurt him. His
Yeah,
ability.
But no, but he the only way
It
he can
doesn't matter.
fight is to burn people.
Yeah. He throws fireballs and shoots fucking flamethrowers out of his hand. That's how he flies, is he shits fire out of his ass. Because he likes Taco Bell. And that super hot sauce that they have that isn't really hot.
Let's talk about a rock man who could literally obliterate you.
He can punch people, but
Yeah.
you can show that on TV easier because he's going to punch on a
What
robot.
about
probably.
a woman that can literally put an
I'm
invisible
not saying,
bubble above
I'm
your
not
head?
saying it makes sense, but I'm telling you, dude, as we go through this, as we do this, you are going to see things about these shows that are going to blow your mind.
Shane?
There is not one punch in all the seasons, not one for Spider-Man, the animated series, in the 90s, he was not allowed to make a fist. It's in the reports. He's not allowed to punch.
Shane, let me put
Ever.
it to you this way. You remember the cartoon reboot? Dot Matrix literally had to wear that fucking stupid shirt of hers and have literally what they like to refer to as uniboob, because the censors in Canada were afraid that if they showed even the smallest hint, like 2 pixels of cleavage, kids would freak out and start jerking off because they saw 2 bits of pixels that meant she had tits.
Yeah, that happens. That's the way censors look at these shows. So they get destroyed, and some of these shows cannot stand the test of time at all. Like I'll bet you, reviewing the Super Friends on an actual adult level, not just being like, hey, this is nostalgia and I grew up with it, the Super Friends is going to get trashed if our show talks about it.
Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, come back here, you damn monkey, I need my ring. Meanwhile, Batman is falling down.
Dude, it's such a bad show. It really
Yes.
is. If you go at our level, a lot of these shows get trashed.
I think next is when we hit the 90s Marvel animated series, but which one came out first?
There was a lot of them that hit at almost the same
I
time,
know,
because there was the
Yeah.
Iron Man, there was the Hulk, there was Spider-Man, because there was even
Yeah.
The X-Men, yeah.
on the channel that I used to watch, there was this really cool thing on Fox. They used to call it the Marvel block. It was
Yep.
four things back to back.
4 Marvel
Yeah.
shows.
Yeah.
Man, I can't help but feel like,
I want to say it was X-Men, Spider-Man.
because I think X-Men was before Spider-Man. I'm almost
Yeah.
positive of that.
Because, that would make sense for X-Men to be before Spider-Man, because Spider-Man had a crossover. Spider-Man went
And
into the
I
X-Men
wanna
universe
say-
without being on the X-Men show.
Yeah,
so.
because I want to say what
because that
ended up
crossover
happening-
happens in Spider-Man.
Actually, we might as well just jump into Spider-Man, considering he might have the most crossovers
Easily,
in
he
his
does.
show.
Yes, he does.
There's no way around it. He does. And I
That's
think
because, no offense to Spidey, technically he's B level when it comes right down to it.
no, he was in. They ran a comic series around Spider-Man called Marvel Team Up, and every issue that came out was Spider-Man teaming up with a different guy.
Yep.
And so they kind of brought that mentality into the Spider-Man 90s show,
Which took to, like, what, season 2 or something?
and he had crossovers
The
with
last season
Doctor
was-
Strange and all kinds of
The
shit.
last season had just about every team-up he had. But
Well, I want to say it was season 2 or season 3 is when they started getting ridiculous. Because I know, like, at first they brought in the X-Men
The first-
because they
well-
had both shows running at the same time, and they wanted to be like, look, they talk to each other. Now you can watch both shows at the same time.
he also
Well-
had Blade,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which isn't normally tied in with Spider-Man.
Yeah, he
so-
also had Punisher as well.
yeah.
Yeah, Punisher. And then Captain America for the Forgotten Warriors.
Yep.
Punisher was brought in because of the Man Spider storyline.
Well, because
Yeah.
of the missing Mary Jane Watson. That's why Punisher was brought in.
I don't think she was missing
No.
yet,
No, wrong. No, sorry. I was
because you're
thinking-
talking about he was there during the Man Spider thing.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
in
no,
the.
Yeah, because Blade showed up for Morbius.
That's
and
who I was
then
thinking of.
Fucking Punisher showed up because
Did-
Man Spider.
did-
X-Men showed up because
his mutation.
It was
Yeah, the
also because of Man
mutations.
Spider, because he started
Yeah.
getting the arms, and
Yeah.
Didn't Daredevil cross
Daredevil-
over with
yes,
the
Daredevil,
Kingpin?
Daredevil
Yes.
showed up in like 3 fucking episodes.
to talk about the Kingpin.
Yeah, and the first episode was hilarious because, of course, then, Spider-Man shows up. Hello, Mr. Murdoch, how are you doing? I'm a friend of Peter Parker's. And he goes, don't pull that bullshit with me, Peter. I know who the fuck you is.
he definitely
like,
didn't say
oh.
it that way.
No, he
Trust me,
didn't
the
say it that
censors
way.
would never allow
Oh
it.
my God! I would be going downstairs right now and watching that
Yeah,
episode.
no shit.
And then with Carnage coming in, we got introduced to War Machine and Iron Man.
Yes, they
Yes.
were both in that. Yes,
They dealt with Carnage.
Yes.
It's been a long time since I've seen
it
the
was
show.
it was Venom, Spider-Man, Iron Man, and War Machine.
I
Yep.
forgot because Spider-Man and Venom called a truce because we need to stop him. I hate you, but we need to stop him.
And then Venom
Yep.
turned on Carnage
He
because
also-
he was going a bit too far.
He
Yeah.
also had a crossover with Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Yep.
Episode with Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Doctor Strange didn't have his own series,
And
did
then
he?
the secret.
And
then the
Cloak
Secret
and
Wars
Dagger,
happened.
I think.
Yeah, there was during like the last season, there was a Secret Wars that took place where he got to team up with the Fantastic Four.
The Lizard?
No, the Lizard
Well, the
was part
Lizard's
of
not a
that.
crossover.
Yeah.
Oh, no, but he was with the Lizard.
And
Lizard
Captain
turned back
America,
and all.
Captain America was there.
Captain
Certain
America.
X-Men.
Storm was there.
Was she the only X-Men?
At the
think.
time,
I can't remember. He was given the ability to summon just enough people, so he picked all 4 of the Fantastic Four.
He picked Storm.
Yep, Storm, Captain America.
a great leader.
We find that out real quick.
Well, no, he didn't say that. He said there was a mutant amongst them that was so powerful she could control the weather.
Oh, yeah.
We
He
gotta-
picked her. He needed a cannon.
You got to remember that Storm is Omega level.
Yeah, he
regardless
needed-
of how people will fight you over.
He needed a cannon.
Controlling
And that was
the
Doctor
planet's
Doom.
weather
Doctor
is
Doom was a
Yep.
part of that
Yep, but-
because
Yeah.
he was
Dr.
part of the
Doom-
bad
Yeah,
guys.
he was part of the bad
Wasn't
guys.
Red Skull?
Yes, Red Skull
Yes,
was part of the
Red
bad
Skull's
guys.
why, Captain
That's
was
why
with
Cap was
Captain.
there.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Lizard was on their team, even though because he was back to
The
being
Lizard was
Connor.
on both teams.
Well,
Yes.
because
He
his
was
mo-
bad
he
at
was on
first.
both teams because
bad
he
at
was
first.
crazy, and then they got him under control.
And
but then
as-
some more fighting happened, and he went crazy again.
Because
so
he
he
was-
was just back and forth
because he was Connor Lizard, and he could talk, and he was like, "I'm in my right mind right now."
until there was a fight, and then
Yeah.
he went off with the bad
Yep.
guys again.
Yep.
Who else? God, I remember that. I do remember that because they were on a different world.
But I think the Secret War was when we had the most crossovers during. So
Yeah.
During a single story
Yeah.
arc, yeah, because most of the time, each story arc contained a crossover, one guy,
Yeah.
like the Punisher, like that kind
Yeah.
of idea.
Although the Punisher, when he came in, it was around the same time as Blade as well. But
Or he came in multiple times.
Yes.
Because the first time he comes in, it's because of the Man Spider, and he's also dealing with the. He also kind of fought Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, that's what I was
Because
about to
Kraven
say.
was there to save Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because Spider-Man had saved him.
Yeah. Because if memory serves, Kraven was another villain during the whole Blade trying to take down Morbius thing.
well, villain, because sometimes he switches back and forth between bad guy and good guy.
It
too.
depends. Usually Kraven, as long as he can hunt whatever it is he's trying to hunt, he
Okay,
don't give a
got it.
fuck.
The crossover for the Secret War was Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Storm,
Iron
Captain
Man.
America, Iron Man, Lizard, and Black Cat.
Oh, yeah.
And the
Yeah.
enemies were Doctor Doom, Doctor Octopus, Red Skull, and Alistair Smith.
Alistair Smythe.
Smythe.
Yep.
The Spider.
Was he the guy that was in the wheelchair?
He's the dude
Yeah.
that created the Spider Slayers.
Yeah.
Got it.
Well,
Okay.
technically, in this continuity, his daddy did, and,
And then he
redeveloped
got
him.
Yeah.
he had an accident and he mutated to where
Yes, he became that weird dude with the
Shoulder
laser
beam?
shoulders.
he laser shoulder. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was the Secret War.
Yeah.
And I do remember that. Oh my God, because that was when the Beyonder and Madam Web was in that too.
Because at the
Yeah.
end of that, they did a crazy Spider-Verse
I
crossover.
really hate clones.
At the end of that, they did a
That's what it's called. That's what the arc
is that
called.
the one
I
where they had
really hate
every
clones.
Spider-Man from other worlds?
yeah.
Just
Yes.
well at that time.
Well, there's no way you could do every
Yeah.
one of them. Even the book barely managed
Yeah,
to do
because
every
there was
one of
one
them.
where he
Yeah.
mutated into the Man
He
Spider.
hadn't yet,
Yes.
but he did during the
He-
battles.
Well,
Yep.
he never reverted.
Yeah.
That guy never reverted. He kept those arms.
Yeah.
And there was another guy that basically killed Dr. Octopus. It was an accident. I don't think he does it on purpose, but he was using the Dr. Ox tech.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
Which actually would make you really broken.
And then there was Ben Reilly, which was the Scarlet
And
Spider.
then wasn't there one Spider-Man that didn't have any powers?
There was
He
the
was the
Iron
actor.
Spider, and then
He
there
was-
was
there was an actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then there was technically Tobey Maguire
Yeah.
Which is how we got the finale with Spider-Man. With
because he
Stan
was
Lee.
just an actor, and he showed up and he was in costume,
but he had no powers.
and he never takes his mask off. He just tells everybody, "I have no powers."
Well, you said the Iron. You said the Scarlet Spider was the Iron
there was
Spider.
an
No,
Iron
there was
Spider.
an Iron Spider.
Yeah.
the Silver Iron
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
he's silver and black, and he basically has a fucking
He was a
Iron
rich
Man suit.
He was rich.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was hardcore rich.
You know, back when the whole
Epic foreshadowing.
You know, back when
Yeah.
the wrestling stuff was happening,
Yeah.
and Spidey went to saving and taking care of the criminal guy who killed his uncle.
Yeah.
Instead of being brought as a menace, he was brought as a hero, and it brought fame and fortune, and
Yeah.
he never lost a fight in his life, and he was a
Yep.
billionaire,
And Uncle
he was really
and
cocky.
Uncle Ben was still alive.
Yeah. because he stopped that robber, and then he was a hero,
Yeah.
and everything from that point was different.
And that's how he defeated the...
Everything
And he
came
was
up
not
Peter
he was
Parker.
not married to Mary Jane. In fact, he didn't
Gwen
even know who
Stacy.
she was. He was married to Felicia Hardy.
Yep.
No.
Yes,
Stacy.
yes.
That's almost
No, it wasn't.
No.
It was Felicia Hardy.
Yeah.
Black Cat?
Gwen Stacy is
Yeah.
not in that series anywhere, even once.
Yes.
To be fair, it was because
Felicia
of that.
Hardy replaced him because she becomes the Black Cat.
It's because of that. It's because of that I didn't even know who Gwen Stacy was. I always thought
Yes.
Peter's first love was Mary Jane.
Which, once again, comes down to people that are introduced to this continuity through television don't know the continuity.
Yeah.
it took a long time before you were like...
Shit,
like,
most
there was
people don't
two
even
women
know about
before her.
goddamn Betty.
Yeah, because technically Betty appears in the series, and she should have been the first girlfriend.
I
Yeah.
thought there was another
And his
girl
first
he dated.
interest should have been Liz, but
Yep.
she shoots him
Yes.
down,
Yeah, she
and then
goes
she
after
takes
Norman.
she takes an interest to him.
Harry.
Liz
Yeah.
takes an interest to him and attempts to date him in high school, but he's confounded with all the Spider-Man stuff, and she even works up the courage and everything because she starts to like him. She starts to see that he's really smart and he's got a future, and she's hanging out with Flash, and he's got nothing going on
Except for what,
And-
football?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He's going to be really popular and everything his whole life, but he's not going to. He's not.
He's going to be popular up until that injury in college that takes out his knee, and then all he's going to do is sit around on his ass drinking beers.
Well,
being like, "I
no,
could've
she
been an
doesn't. She
NFL
doesn't
player."
think that way because the comic books wouldn't allow her to think that way at the time.
True.
But what was going on in the comics is she started to see that everybody was shitting on Parker, but Parker had a lot going for him. He had a full-time job. He was a photographer. He was making money. He was taking care of his aunt. He was responsible. He was super smart. He was already working with scientists. This kid was 15 years old, and he was allowed to take time off of school to go work in laboratories.
Well, they
Yep.
consider Peter Parker one of the top minds in the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
Second, if memory. Okay.
No, not even close.
No,
Reed
you're
Because
is
right.
there's
the
so
smartest.
many. There's so many. There's like
No.
Because Reed, that new Ray Williams.
No, I'm going
Ironheart?
by at the time.
Yeah, but even then, you got Doctor Doom, and like it's so ridiculous the amount
Yeah.
of, and then Tony Stark.
Because technically it's...
He's referenced as smarter than
Bruce Banner?
Parker. Bruce Banner's referenced as smarter
No,
than
'cause
Parker.
I thought Parker was smarter than...
No, Parker.
Okay, no, you're right, because fucking Tony had the experience, which is
For
what gives
Parker's
him
age
barely...
at the time.
He
For
was
Parker's age, he was already
was
on
like
a scholarship.
fifth or sixth.
Basically,
yeah, he was a
Yeah.
brilliant kid.
He was already guaranteed a scholarship at that time. He was mega smart. That's the whole reason he's at the science lab, is he was invited to this demonstration of some atomic physics demonstration.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when you look at his character, Liz started to notice that, and Liz was like, I don't think this kid is as bad as we give him shit for. And sure, it's been funny for a long time, but I think the funny is over, guys. And she was like, "Hey, Parker, are you doing anything?" And he's like, "Why?" Because he'd been shit on all the time. He was tired of these people. He's tired of this, and literally, I think because Stan Lee, his aunt was dying. Technically, his aunt was drawn like she was a decrepit 92-year-old woman in the first fucking issues, and her ass should be dead. If you want to stick to continuity that goddamn hard, unless you're going to go to the kind of continuity that Marvel's playing with right now in the movies, where she's the age that she should be,
In her
Yeah.
40s.
no, she's in her 50s.
Yeah.
She's playing the actual age of the actress, and the actress is 52.
Yeah.
She don't look it.
Yep.
But
she
everybody
really don't
everybody
look it.
that's saying that, everybody that's like, I shouldn't want to bang her and blah blah, and this is bullshit, and that's not Aunt May. She's 52. She's easily old enough to be that kid's actual mom because he's 25.
Yeah.
The kid that's playing him. Kid, I say kid. He's an adult, to be fair, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about...
Yeah, she could have
the
been
new
his.
Spider-Man.
She could be
Yeah.
his actual mom.
Right.
Yeah.
So yes, that works out perfectly.
Yeah,
that is the age she
let's
should
see,
be.
In like a month, I'm going to be fucking 29. My dad turned like 60 this year, I think, or somewhere close to that. So yeah,
Same here.
close to the exact correct age.
Right.
Right.
So yeah, when you look at it, but regardless, his aunt was dying, and she set up a date with him, and he at first he kind of thought it was a joke until it really started to kick in that was real, and then Spider-Man stuff happened because fuck your life, and he did Spider-Man stuff instead of with her, And then when he finally got to her and the night was already over and she was basically going home and he ran up like, "Oh, Liz, you got to understand." She was like, "Get the fuck away from me." She was like, "I went out on a limb. I talked up for you. I stood up for you. I told all the guys that they were wrong. And you know what? They're right. You really are a prick, Parker." Because Peter Parker in the books, if you read those early issues, it was not just that he was a geek. He was an asshole. Read the first 20 issues. He's a dickhead.
Well, then again, with the way he's treated.
But he's treated that way because he's an asshole.
Yeah.
Later on in the books, there are certain characters that will come back around, and they will talk to him, and they will specifically tell him, "You were a prick." And he'll be like, "No, I wasn't." And they'll be like, "Remember that time?" And they'll bring something up from early continuity, and he'll be like, "Oh, because all the Spider-Man shit was going on." And so he was letting this Spider-Man thing fuck up his life, and then he was lashing out at the people around him, and he was an asshole.
Yeah.
There's almost once a book you can see him do something that is prickish or standoffish or disrespectful towards them. And sometimes they are shitting on him. Yes. But part of the reason they're shitting on him is because he's constantly shitting on them. It's a vicious cycle between the characters.
You know, the weird thing is, what I remember from the first comics I read was he was mostly picked on growing up to a teenager. So if he was shitting on people, well...
Yeah, but a person that gets shit on their whole life knows what it does to you. Yeah. And he should have had a little more sense to say, "They're not treating me like this anymore."
Yeah. At the same time, though, like you said, because he was letting the Spider-Man stuff take over.
Yes.
And you go out there, you're on a date with this girl who shit on you forever, and all of a sudden that she has an interest in you, you don't understand why. You're just like, okay, I'm going to go with the flow. And then all of a sudden, spider sense tingling. I got to go save the day. And then you got fucking Otto Octavius being a douche again.
Yeah.
And you got to stop him. But let's say he fucking gets that good hit on you. My ribs hurt right now. I got to go back to this date. I'm pissed because this prick won't knock it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he was injured.
And all it takes is you just say one thing. I'm like, knock it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in a bad mood right now. My ribs hurt.
He does that.
Yeah.
And if you really look at it from an adult perspective and you reread those early books, what was happening was he was getting crapped on as Spider-Man. He would go home, he would read the papers, he was always in a bad mood, he was angry because the press didn't like him, he was angry because he lost his Uncle Ben, he was angry because, like, the world wasn't doing him any favors, to be fair, and then when good things would happen to him, he would shit on those good things.
Because of all the bad shit he had to deal with.
Right, but that was coming back around, and it was making him look like an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. You can hero worship all day and night, but the truth of the matter is that Parker brought a good portion of the shit on himself. Had he got superpowers and said, "I can help the world, I don't have to be Spider-Man to do that. I could be a cop." He could do that.
What that happens to have spider abilities.
He has the spider powers. He doesn't have to reveal them. He could be an in-shape police officer that maybe even went into detective work.
Because he would be a damn good detective, because he'll be like, something's not spider sense is tingling.
Right.
Noir?
In a way. He didn't have to be a vigilante. He chose that path in life. And then when that path in life shit on him, he shit on the world around him.
Yep.
And you also got to remember is that everybody else that he was with didn't know he was Spider-Man.
Right. So when he's acting like an asshole, and the way they see it, because they did start trying to treat him right. Even Flash, for a couple of books, started doing what was right. He started being like, "Look, man, I know your uncle died and whatnot, and I get it." And then he would slam the guy against the lockers and be like, "Fuck you, prick, blah, blah, this, and you don't got respect, and this and that." And he's like, "I'm literally over here trying to tell you I'm sorry."
But Flash is the one character that I always thought picked on him just because Flash was a prick.
In a way. But then later on, they actually became very good friends.
So I'm going to tell you something right now.
In fact, they taught at the same school, because Flash is the gym teacher at the same academy that Parker will later get hired in.
Well, I'm just saying,
during the Civil War stuff.
If this dude gave me shit, picked on me my whole life just because he's a prick and I was different. And all of a sudden he comes up and apologizes to me. I'm not going to trust him either.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, I'm like, dude,
Well,
you're a douche to me all the time. I might be an asshole to everybody else, but you had no reason to be a douche to me. Why should I even accept your apology?
Yes, and but then later on, continuity would reveal that they grew up as friends.
Yeah.
They just
And
went,
later
different
on-
And
paths.
especially
Later
because
on,
if memory
from
serves,
Flash's-
doesn't Flash end up becoming like Night Venom or whatever?
That's a way Agent Venom. But
Yeah.
but way later, you will figure out that Flash and him grew up together, and they were good friends. And something Parker did broke them apart, because Parker basically flung the whole. You're a fucking idiot. I'm fucking science major. Okay, that's the way life is. And when he pulled that card, Flash reverted into, scrawny little bitch. I got these muscles, this basketball, and these ladies. What do you got? That book? And then that started their whole high school turbulence. So there is a lot of other things in the continuity that show us that Parker was not always the perfect person, and he never has been. He does a lot of good things, but his personality sometimes works against him.
Due to the situation, though. So
you could say that, but then I would also throw this one at you. If you want to verify that Parker was such a good guy,
not all the time.
Not almost ever. Think about his job. Really stop and think about how he conned J. Jonah Jameson out of thousands upon thousands of dollars.
I'll get those pictures of Spider-Man for you. Put the camera there.
When he fought the Sandman, he didn't take a single picture. He waited until the fight was over, then set up the camera, threw a bunch of sand in the air and punched it, and let it auto take that picture and took it to Jameson like, I was in the room when it happened. And he sold that to Jameson. And when he got these pictures of Spider-Man, Jameson paid his aunt's rent for a year.
Yep.
A year!
Okay.
And especially cost of living New York.
He conned. He was a con man.
I will give you
that screwed Jameson out of thousands upon thousands of dollars.
And I will give you that. But at the same time, I am Spider-Man. I'm saving people from burning buildings. I'm saving cops from getting shot. I'm saving all these people, and this motherfucker keeps slandering me.
Right, but Jameson was also the guy that wrote the very first story when the Amazing Spider-Man showed up on television.
Yep.
And said, truly amazing.
What changed his mind?
A couple of things changed Jameson's mind.
Because he became a prick towards Spider-Man.
Yes. There are a couple of events that take place that make Spider-Man look like a bad guy, for one.
Yeah.
And also, for the exact reason I said, Spider-Man could have been a cop.
True.
He could have joined the Army. He could have been an agent. He could have worked for S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
He could have been the fifth member of the Fantastic Five.
He could have, yeah. And
he wasn't an alternate.
Well, that's when Johnny Storm died.
No, there's actually a Fantastic Five, and he has the Spider-Man suit.
But didn't
he
he take over Johnny's spot when Johnny?
No,
it was a what if in the comics at first.
No, there's no. There's a rough part in the continuity where all the Fantastic Four leave the planet, and it's Grey Hulk, Ghost Rider, Spider-Man, and Wolverine, and they became the Fantastic Four.
Well, I know that there was a what if having Fantastic Five with Spider-Man. So
yeah,
he's in the Spider-Verse.
Look at that team you just said. Wolverine's pretty broke. Motherfucking Ghost Rider
and Hulk.
Yeah,
Grey Hulk, not as strong.
Grey
Hulk,
smart. Yeah, he's smart, but he's not.
That's
strong.
your Reed Richards. Well, no, because Peter's smart. Ooh, that's tough.
Technically speaking, Sue was a genius as well. She wasn't quite on their level. Technically, she's the sixth smartest person on the planet.
Oh my god.
We do have
Johnny
to go
Storm's
back,
the dumbest one.
We do have to go back to X-Men 90s because Captain America was in there.
Yeah, Captain America makes appearances.
It's
in the very last season, and it's with Wolverine.
I think it's the only
World War II.
Yeah,
World War II, because they fought together in World War II.
Yeah,
without even realizing.
Cameo in the X-Men, wasn't it?
Cameos did not happen often in the X-Men, except for the fact that there were 1,000 cameos of X-Men in the X-Men.
Yeah.
But that's not quite the same thing.
Like other properties into the X-Men.
Right, not very often.
That's just about it, Cap.
Yeah.
It was like the last season.
wait.
You got a couple of people.
There was a kind of a Punisher one somewhere.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was in this last episode. It was something I was going to bring up. Because Bishop's hiding out in that building, and the kids go running by, and they're like, let's play our new game, Assassination, with the Punisher on the cover of the game.
Not just that, but I got an image where it was like some TV being viewed, and there was a guy with the Punisher shirt being shown on it. So I don't know if it was like that.
Well,
I might have missed that one
We'll
while I
end
was
up-
writing
Yeah,
notes.
it's in the future one. So
Yeah, we'll get there, I'm sure.
Didn't I know that the X-Men crossed over in the Spider-Man show?
Yes.
So did Spider-Man cross over in the X-Men?
No.
No.
So he never went to Xavier's Institute?
No.
In
He
his own
did
show.
In his own
yes.
show,
His own
yes,
show.
but not in
That's
their
it.
show.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
no. Yeah. Yeah, because
Right, they
technically the X-Men show up like, 3 different times?
On
And
what?
Spider-Man?
No, only at one time. It's only a two-parter.
Technically,
He goes
Oh,
to the
yeah, that's
mansion,
right.
and then he has an
Secret War.
adventure.
Secret War brought Storm, which is technically an
Yeah.
X-Men crossover.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Then we have Iron Man, who had, I think, his main group has crossovers in it, like Spider-Woman.
I didn't watch that
Scarlet-
series at all.
Neither did I.
Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, I watched
So-
maybe a handful
You're,
of
that's
episodes.
your show. I've never
Yeah.
seen anything about it.
Yeah,
I've
I think.
seen a few episodes
Never-
but from the
and
images I
technically
found.
speaking,
Okay.
When I was little and we would have to be babysat in the summer, like what was it? It was my mom's friend who was the one who would babysit me, my brother, and my sister. She ended up moving to this one house, and I can't even remember where the fuck it was. But literally, all they had was like a TV about the size of Bill's laptop screen. And every now and again, we go and get Hardee's in the morning. So we come back from getting Hardee's, and literally the only thing on was, here's the Fantastic Four 90s. Did you like that? No. Too bad.
Too
By the
bad.
way, here's the mask afterwards. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, I remember
Halfway
the
through the
mask.
episode, click, go outside and play. Oh, well, fuck me.
But also during the Iron Man was Hulk. Hulk showed up in the Iron Man to show the Hulkbuster suit.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
And
That's one of the few episodes I
Oh,
do
you're
remember.
and the Hulk cartoon series had
It was Hulk and She-Hulk.
it was
mainly.
She-Hulk was with him, but Iron Man did show up in the Incredible Hulk series.
Yep.
With the Hulkbuster armor? Because
No.
I really don't
No.
like it. That doesn't do
No.
anything.
No.
No,
It was
just
yeah.
Iron Man.
Just Iron Man?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I honestly don't give a fuck. I see what the Hulk can do.
And then
the
we get
Hulkbuster armor don't do
to the
shit.
Fantastic Four 90s.
The only reason
There was Fantastic Four in the Incredible Hulk series too.
Yeah.
do you know why I watched the Fantastic Four series as a kid?
Why?
Johnny Storm.
Okay.
I was such a fan of the Human Torch that I was like, I'm watching this show because that man's on fire.
Do you know why I watched it? Because there was nothing else on. And the only, 3 episodes that are ingrained in my memory,
sorry.
I'm happy I remember because they're at least of Sue.
The Fantastic Four get shit on a lot. The First Family gets shit on quite often.
Especially in the Hollywood view.
They don't have good movies. Well, after Fan Four Stick, those other two are fucking
Well, I mean, like I said, don't...
Academy Award-winning movies.
Yes.
And I mean, don't get
It's
me wrong.
fucking Oscar nomination
Yes.
time if you want to
Yes,
compare.
even if they did get the Silver Surfer 100% fucking wrong. Knock him off his board, he loses his power. No! He's a fucking Herald of Galactus, that's not how it works!
But
Yeah.
with the 90s cartoon,
Sorry,
Which, like I said, don't get me wrong, I'm bashing on the 90s cartoon, but compared to... it's just a matter of compared to the other cartoons that were out, it wasn't that good. When it comes right down
And
to
that-
it, it was still a great fucking series.
and that sucks because the Fantastic Four has so much to offer.
Yeah.
And that they get shit on so much.
Yeah.
Daredevil, Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Daredevil was in Fantastic
Daredevil
Four.
Yeah.
gets shit on sometimes too. He has a lot to offer. He's a blind man. That's awesome.
He'll always get shit on. He's always going to be the
These
third-rate.
Netflix shows really brought out what Daredevil could do.
Yep.
Shit, these Netflix shows just showed me exactly how hardcore Punisher can really
Oh, by the
fucking
way,
be.
Punisher's amazing.
Oh, yeah, it is. The fact
Have you
that
watched
they
it?
actually
I'm
went with
hearing it.
original characters.
Good.
Anyway, sorry.
I was going to say, Hulk makes an appearance in the Fantastic Four as well, feuding with Thing.
Yep.
And then Black Panther.
Oh, I
remember
forgot about
that.
Black Panther.
Yeah, he was really against the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
at
he
first,
was.
So,
He did not like them.
yeah.
Once again,
basically he
there's the shitting
they
on.
had to save his fucking life before he was like, oh, I guess you guys are superheroes and are alright.
Where do you protect? I protect Wakanda. Where's that at? Africa. Well, we protect the world. You just protect Wakanda? Fuck you, dude. I'm a hero. Eat a dick. Go back to Wakanda.
But
see you later.
That's it as far as I can remember with the stuff that I
actually don't hate the Black Panther.
So.
I'm actually looking forward to his movie, to be fair.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
It looks freaking awesome. I've seen the trailers. I'm like, oh my god, I never thought I'd like this character, but man, I want to see this movie. I don't know shit about it, so I'm going to go in there with thinking this is going to be the best thing ever. But crossovers, and then you got like what is it? Didn't the Fantastic Four they crossed, or at least Johnny Storm, didn't he cross over with Spider-Man? Because those two.
I
don't believe so.
Oh my god!
Was
Was that the
I can
video
remember.
game I was thinking of? Because
Probably.
Because in the beginning of one of the video games, he's sitting on top of like
Ultimate
building.
Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then
Spider-Man game. As
he's
far
talking
as, like,
to Human
PlayStation
Torch.
1 and
Yeah.
stuff.
Nope, that's Ultimate Spider-Man.
Oh, that's that. Oh, I could. Yeah,
The one you're talking about, where he's sitting on top of the building, and then you have the race.
Yeah.
Well, there was one game where there was nothing. It was just a conversation he was having with Johnny.
I think you're thinking of maybe like the first movie video game.
Could have been
'Cause
Spider-Man 2.
Technically, yeah, it was either Spider-Man 1 or Spider-Man 2 when they did the fucking video
It was
games
the movie.
for the Tobey
It was the
Maguire
movie games.
movies. They started peppering in like random fucking
Human
Marvel
Torch
characters
is in the game
just
in the beginning.
because.
I know the first Spider-Man game for like PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64 had like a bit of a Spider-Man with Human Torch thing in there, but that was about
I
it.
remember them. I remember that frankly because Human Torch is flying and he's just hovering there, and Spider-Man and him are talking, and then Human Torch flies off, and then the game starts.
Yeah, I remember what
And
you're
I was
talking
thinking,
about, but
I was
don't know
thinking
what
like,
game
what's
it's from.
going on? Are you in this game? Because I like you, and don't fly away.
Yeah.
Don't fly away.
Yeah, like I said, I remember one of the movie games.
Please do not
like,
go
they
back-
peppered it with random fucking people.
Please don't go back
but
to that
They didn't do
family.
anything other than, "Hey Pete, how you doing? Bye."
He's literally the most popular character in the Fantastic Four. That's why he has the most crossovers.
Yeah.
He's awesome. Fuck the thing. Human Torch all the way. I said my piece. If you have a problem with it, you can fucking argue with me, but then you're just going to get mad when I prove you wrong.
I got a piece for you, Shane.
What's that? Oh, never mind. I don't want that. All right. So, Bill, you got anything else?
I think this episode is done.
Sweet. Awesome.
Which is weird because it's only an hour instead of our usual 2 hour.